What's up out there, family and friends? It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, bringing you another edition of Motivational Monday. But before I get going, let me play this intro.
It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me.
It ain't no friend of me. We are waging war on mediocrity. It is your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, bringing you another edition of Motivational Monday. I am looking for the hungry. Where are the hungry out there tonight? If you all would, please give me about a minute so I can share this out to all my social media outlets. I'm noticing that, Facebook has been a little late putting this out, so I want to make sure that I share it everywhere so people can get it in its real time. So if y'all would just give me about 30 seconds as I share this to all my social media outlets. And I would ask that you do the same. Please do. Please share it out as well. Hey, Vaniqua, thank you for joining us tonight. Vaniqua said, I live in the land of the hungry. I'm looking for those hungry people tonight. Let me share this out. Hey, what's up, Simone? Thank you for joining us out there on Twitter. Thank you for joining us tonight. Oh, no, on YouTube. I'm sorry, Simone. If you all would, please share this as I'm sharing it right now. Give me about another 30 seconds as I share this out to all my social media outlets. I've noticed that Facebook views are down. I don't know if it's taking, a little longer, so I want to make sure that I share it a couple places to make sure that people have the opportunity to catch it real time. I see a lot of people that come back and catch it after it's done, but it's all good because we're gonna break bread tonight, and tonight is going to be a motivational Monday. Like I said, I've dealt a lot with your deity last year. This year, we're gonna live with a lot with your humanity, and I think the key for most of us is learning how to tie those two together. How do I live for my deity, and how do I live for my humanity concurrently at one time? And that my friend is the awaken I am. I just broke bread. And that's not even a start or anything right there. That's just a little bread breaking to kind of whet your appetite. What's up, Angelique? Thank you for joining us out there. Thank you for joining us out there. I'm sharing one more place, then we're gonna be ready to ride. If y'all would please take time to share this. It will be so beneficial. I think, man, this year alone has been so impactful for a lot of people. Just the testimonies that I'm getting and I'm hearing back, and I'm seeing people go back and listen to it and mark it #1, #2, #3. Like it's phenomenal. And so I want to thank you all for sharing it and being a part of that movement. There's too many people that sit on the sidelines, but we need more people to get in the game. All right. I appreciate y'all being patient with me. Let's break some bread out here tonight. Let's break some bread out here tonight. All right. Tonight, Awaken Your I Am. Episode 78. The power of your imagination. Man, last week was phenomenal. The week before was absolutely off the chains. I'm going to challenge you all. If you have not gone back and listened to last week where we talked about seed time and harvest, we talked about why not you, and we talked about adding and putting the right fruit in the ground. It was phenomenal. I'm challenging you all to go back and listen to that why not you from last week. The previous week before that, we talked about shadows. And I'm not done with that series. I'm coming back to it. But we talked about shadows and how the shadows in our life really kind of determine and dictate our manifestations in our life. Our shadows, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And we talked about those shadows in our lives sometimes appear as real. But those shadows are just metaphorically. I went through the whole thing of talking about the definition of shadows. If you have not heard that, I'm telling you, this year, like, we're on a crash course with destiny. And listen, man, I am not, and I hate to say it this way, and I don't hate to say it this way. I do believe that in this season that God, the great I am, has awakened my I am for a season such as this to see people, ordinary people that just believe that there was something special about them to get extraordinary results. I believe that this is the season of my life that I'm in. And I'm challenging you all to believe that this is the season of your life that you're in, that it's time for the extraordinary to take place in your life. I'm telling you to move beyond move beyond like what I see. And that, my friend, helps us understand that the awaken I am is imperative if I'm going to do more than what anybody in my family has ever done, if I'm going to do more than just live a life that when I die, my name and my legacy goes with me. Hey, Elkie, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us tonight. Like the awaken I am is imperative to that life. And tonight I want to talk about for a brief moment the power of your imagination. You know, I brought some stats right here. 57% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, according to First National Bank. 70% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. 45% of Americans have nothing saved. The median wage last year was $19.33, which is roughly about $40,000 per year. Only 33% of people are maximizing their potential as it relates to Keller Services. Hey, Lisa, thank you for joining us. I told you all, I came to work with your humanity tonight. I came to talk to the part of you that lives on this earth and have to produce seed for the ground for 40 hours at a job or a place of employment in order to be able to take care of your necessary earthly responsibilities. I'm coming to talk to that part of you tonight. That part of you that does not have to live an average or below average life upon this earth. The part of you that determines and dictates how we live upon this earth. I'm not talking to the part of you that is partly responsible for the great by and by. I'm not talking about that part of you. I'm talking about the part of you. Now, I know I've talked about our belief system. I've talked about what we have to know and what we have to believe about ourselves in order to see the vision through. But tonight, I want to talk to the part of you that has to choose. Yeah. I choose what I believe, or the part of you that has to choose what they think, or the part of you that has to choose what my life will be like. I am going to break bread. The power of your imagination. Let's talk about it. Imagination is the ability to form mental pictures or ideas in the mind. Imagination. Think about it. The ability to form mental pictures or ideas in the mind. First of all, great leaders or good leaders ask great questions. What images have you been building in your mind? Talk to your boy. Dominate your day. Holler at your boy. Do you have mental pictures of how you are overcomer? I'm more than a conqueror. This world provides abundant solutions. I provide abundant solutions to the world. What is your mental picture of the ideas that you have concerning yourself? What are the thoughts that you have concerning yourself upon this earth? What are the thoughts that you have concerning your value upon this earth? What ideas dominate your thinking, dominate your mind? Everybody has the ability to imagine, but imagination becomes powerful when you turn it to manifestation. Oh my God. Imaginations become powerful when you turn it into manifestation. I talk about it all the time, that you are the author of your own life, that you are the captain of your own ship, that your vision and your purpose should guide your life daily. I talk about it, that you are yes, like God is the originator and he created you from the beginning. He's known you, but the decisions that we make or the images we place in our mind determine our ultimate destiny and determine our ultimate success upon this earth. Tonight, I'm talking about living out of your imagination. And this world knows and understands that if I can control your imagination, I can control your manifestation. Imagination becomes powerful when you can turn it into manifestation. Come on, man. I see some people out there chiming in, growing positively in every aspect of my life. That is the goal. That is the purpose of your life. And I sit back, man. I'm telling you, like I talk to you all as I'm the motivational teacher, but I went all last week and help you see sometimes where I miss it in order to have to make it. Now, I don't get this thing right all the time. I'm being honest. Like I told you last week, I was surprised to be in that room with the top 5% of the Fortune 100 company. I'm telling you something, I don't get it all right, but I'm asking you tonight to choose to imagine the life that God has for you and stop living and imagining your reality for your life. And I don't know if you all listened to TD Jakes or not, but TD Jakes did an awesome sermon yesterday talking about shame. And he talked about how shame limits. And he went through the Bible and talked about several great men that had to deal with shame. And along the lines with what he was saying, I believe that so many of us that we see ourselves through our previous experiences, that it limits what we believe about ourselves and it limits what we can imagine about ourselves. See, we imagine ourselves like there's some retribution we got to pay for what I did in the past. And when God is saying, hey, I need your I am to be awakened so I can work and live through you. Doesn't matter about what you've done and what you've been through. It's about you being able to turn that imagination into something positive so that God can get the glory. His plan for our lives is so much greater than we can ever imagine. That's why we need to live from our imagination and stop living from our reality. Hey, what's up, Charles? Thank you for joining us, bro. Imaginations become powerful when you turn it into manifestation. There's a place on earth, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why I'm dealing with your humanity tonight. There's a place on earth where everything you thought, everything you saw yourself having in the spiritual realm, you can have it in this earthly realm. There is a place that every promise of God is yes and amen. There is a place where you can walk out the totality of what God has given you in this earth, but it is going to require that your imagination becomes more real than what you currently see. My imagination, my thoughts toward myself. I know there's some of us right now that we deal with self-doubt. We place limitations on our own life. Like Lady Queen would say, you are your own limitation. Thank you, Vanika. Like we have those moments where we don't believe what we should believe, but I'm challenging you to say that's the old me. You can't put new wine into an old wineskin. This is the new version of the awakened I am. Man, come on, man. The awakened I am is oblivious to what happened in the past. I'm more than what I was in the past. For all of those, boy, oh man, I see them rocking little baby Jesus in the manger on Christmas. I see them have nativity scene when where everybody wants to meet Jesus, want to know Jesus where they met it. Not many people want to know Jesus grown and in charge and on the throne. It's tend to put you in the box in the place where they met you. For a lot of you all out there, you've grown and you've evolved in your thinking, but you got those family members or you got those friends or you got those neighbors that only want to put you and keep you in the box where they met you. I'm going to break bread tonight. And you got to help them to understand that the version you met me of was 0.5. Now I'm at 4.0. I've grown, I've multiplied 3 or 4 times since you've last seen me, honey. Child, you better not where I am. I am the one that was, is, and is to come. It's a different version of me every time you see me. Because what? I'm growing and I'm living out my imagination. You'll never catch me stagnant. You'll never catch me stagnant. I had somebody ask me, motivational teacher, how you keep a fresh word all the time? Motivational teacher, it seems like every motivational Monday, you bring so much energy and you bring a fresh word in it. And it's a word where there's not many fillers in it. How do you do it, motivational teacher? Why? Because you'll never find me in the same place I was last Monday. I put too much time into this for it to be stale. I put too much time in it for this bread to go right. I put too much time in it to get the little doughy ends on the end of this bread. Why? Because I'm on a crash course with greatness. I'm on a crash course with destiny. I'm on a crash course with manifestation. I'm on a crash course, listen to your boy, with my own imagination. Oh my God, I'm breaking bread tonight. I'm on a crash course with my imagination. The life that God has already prepared for me. I'm on a crash course with that life, and I'm challenging you to be on that same crash course. Have you ever sat down and you close your eyes? Or have you ever had a thought like, man, I should be doing more? Have you ever driven by a house and man, and it kind of connected like, man, one day I can have something like that? Or have you ever gone to a business that you went in and you gone in that business and you say, man, like if I could one day, I would love to have something like this? Or have you ever heard a speaker that's in your lane and you say, man, that that's phenomenal. I wish I had an audience like that. If you've ever had that moment in time, that's your imagination playing peekaboo with you. And some of us, we take those thoughts and we just let them go. Oh, that's not for me. That's God. That's the great I am trying to awaken your I am and say, I prepared all this for you. I got a mansion for you, not in heaven, but on earth. A mansion is figuratively, and that I'm more than enough to meet all your needs and have plenty more in store. He's playing peekaboo with your imagination. That is not your original thought. We grew up, man, come on, man. Oh my God, I got chills going all up and down my body right now. I grew up in a 3-bedroom trailer. It was 8 of us in a 3-bedroom trailer. And when I went to bed, when I first visited, I was in Montgomery. I went and played ball. I came home. I visited this couple. I'm not going to tell their names on here, but I visited this couple. And they had this big African-American couple. The first time I've seen African-Americans live like this. They had this big house with wraparound staircases and they had TVs on the wall. I came from a 3-bedroom trailer. I had no idea that we were living like that. And I walked in that house and I said, oh my God, I felt my spirit leap. And I said, man, I said, man, I would love to have something like that one day. And what they did, I thank them all the time because they imparted vision. They let my imagination take a deep breath of what could be. And now I walk in my house and I see the stairs and I go into my kids' room with the TVs on the wall and I come downstairs in my theater and I say, oh my God, like look what I was able to produce from my imagination that I walked in those people's house and God said, woof, he breathed into me a new breath that said, hey, Ed, this ain't just for you to admire. This is something I have laid up for you, son. And it's for my glory. It's for God. It's for the great I am to reap the glory from your life. Because guess what? People, oh man, let me tell you, carnal people only understand the language of the carnal. Come on, man. I'm going to break bread today. Carnal people only understand the language of carnality. That's why in the last days, so many would be deceived because they are looking at the things that are accumulated in life. And I'm going to tell you something about the great I am. The great I am will let you get those things to attract people to you so you can give them the right word in due season. I'm telling you, can you be trusted with your own imagination? Boy, I can run out this room right now. I remember the day I walked in that house. Man, I remember the day I want to call their name so bad. I remember the day I walked in that house and I turned around in a 360 and I said, oh my God, God, what is this? What is this? And it's God, and it's the great I am. He was awakening my I am 15 years before I got my house, but he was saying, son, I need you to live from here. I know you came from a 3-bedroom trailer. Son, I know right now you're living in a room the size of a closet that you're renting from a colleague, but I don't look at what your reality is today. Son, I got something much more for you in store. Don't you dare sit down and build and pitch a tent or build a house where it was meant to be temporary when God has said, I got something better in mind for you permanently. Boy, I'm breaking bread up in here tonight. He was playing peekaboo with my imagination. And my challenge to you, or my question to you is, where in our lives have we allowed our peekaboo to go dormant? If somebody ain't listening to this every Monday, I don't know what's wrong. I'm breaking bread right now. I am breaking bread right now. It's like, can I turn, number one, can I keep that thought? Or can I emboss that mental image on my brain long enough in order for me to see manifestation from it? Can I speak the right talk about that that embossed logo of what God has already given us on our brain to awaken our I am? Can I water it with the right talk long enough until I see it? Or will allow my present condition to end up being my long-term circumstance? I'm telling you right now, you got to stop making permanent decisions based on a temporary situation. I am breaking bread right now. I done broke a sweat up in here. I feel like running myself right now. I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm so far off my notes, but I feel like I'm talking to somebody out there tonight. I feel like the great I am is awakening my I am for somebody to get some good bread out there tonight. Can you be trusted with your own imagination? Oh my God, that's bread breaking moment. I can hang this up right now and run out of here myself. Can you be trusted with your own imagination? Boy, I got to break bread. When the great I am is playing peekaboo, can you be trusted with your own imagination? Boy, I just broke bread. I say it every Monday. I was created from a creator. That makes me creative, Angelique. You know that. That makes me creative. Every material thing that was created by humans was first imagined. I'm going to say it one more time. Every material thing that was created by humans was first imagined. Root word, imagination. Root word, imagine. Root word, image. 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 Root word, image. Image, imagine, imagination. Image, imagine, imagination. Image, imagine, imagination. Oh, I'm about to break bread. What image? What image do you see for yourself? If you had to describe yourself, we talk about this in the sales world. If you had an elevator speech, you had 15 seconds to say of yourself, what does that image look like? My printer just went crazy in here. What does that image look like? When somebody asks about Angelique Johnson, what does that image look like? When somebody asks about Keith, what is that image that comes to mind? Imagine. When somebody says the motivational teacher to the masses, what is that image? What is being imagined when people talk about you? What is the image? What is the image? Because whatever that image is, it's being projected from your own imagination. I'm telling you, how do I connect with this world? I connect with this world through my imagination. The image of what I project is from my imagination. The great I am. Yeah, come on. The grace of God. The great I am is strengthening, is awakening my I am to project. Like that's what I love. If you look at the heroes of faith, in Hebrews 11, like all of those people had problems in their life. Murderers, thieves, liars. I mean, they all did crazy stuff. But when we read about the image that is projected, is one that is made in the image and likeness of that creator. How is that possible? Because they did not allow those things to define the image of who they were. Oh my God, I'm breaking bread right now. We allow things to define our image. And the great I am is saying, God is saying, don't allow things to define your image. Allow my word and allow me to define your image. Because everything in me is yes and amen. The things that you want out your life, you have to allow me to craft who you are. You have to allow what I said about you. I got to tell you, I got to break bread. I got to break bread right now. I mean, in my own right, in my own ability, I'm going to tell you, I grew up, my dad was in and out of prison, man. We grew up in a 3-bedroom trailer. It was 8 of us. I got to tell you that without the great I am, I was very insecure for many years of my life. Hey, Deborah, I was very insecure for many years of my life. And it only took me increasing my relationship with the great I am in order to have this confidence that is unshakable. But because I was 6'7", 260 pounds, and as insecure as anybody on this earth. I'm breaking bread right now. And it wasn't until I found out that in Genesis, where I was supposed to dominate and reign, and when I start understanding that I had control of my own life and that what I think And what I think, that I frame my world with my own words, that gives me a confidence. And that's why when people say you big headed, or I say the confidence that I display has nothing to do with me. Don't let's not get this twisted. Anthony D. Williams in himself is not a very confident person. I'm just gonna break bread. This guy that you see across from the screen is not who this guy naturally was. That's who I am now. You better believe that. I am confident now, but this is not who I naturally was. I was naturally not this big personality and boisterous and ready to take on the world, not naturally. It wasn't until I fell in love with the great I am that began to show me and awakening my I am. It's the moment where I start becoming confident. Well, I just don't have it. You'll never hear me say what I don't have, because whatever I lack, I have the ability to grow, and so do you. But we got to start being trusted. Can the great I am awaken your I am through your own imagination? What's your image of who you are? What's the image of what you believe God has given you? What's the image for your own life story? What's the vision for your life? I told you, I'm not the 30, and you need 30-day goal, you need 60-day goal, you need 90-day goals, you need 100, you need 3-year goal. I am not the guy to want to tell you to go get goals. I'm the guy that said, hey, come up hither and figure out who you are. If you mess around and figure out who you are, forget 30, 60, 90, and 3 years, you will attract everything you need in the moment you find out who you truly are. I speak with confidence because the great I am has awakened my I am. It's not I that live, but him that lives through me. I used to stress so much about, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? Go back and go to my first motivation. My first Motivational Mondays were like 5 minutes, and they were like 3 minutes, and they were all quotes from other people. And I said, man, this is what I know. I'm just going to do this. Why would somebody want to listen to me more than 3 minutes? And that insecurity was going on throughout my motivational 5-minute segments. And then they said people only want to hear 5 minutes at a time, which then gave me a confirmation of what I'm doing. I should continue doing. But it was the wrong confirmation, because if you're looking for a 5-minute word, I ain't your guy, because the awakened I am is worth something. It is worth something. And the confidence that I have has nothing to do with me. I gotta break bread. It has nothing to do with me, but it has everything to do with the great I am awakening my I am and trusting me to live out of my imagination. I gotta break bread. The challenge why most of our lives have not changed, because we're too busy living day to day, and we have put no thought from our life through our imagination. We're living day to day. I'm not, listen, ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, I wish I could just cut my head open and give it to you. Like, what you see is a hoax. What you see is not what you physically see. I got to change that. What you physically see is not real. What you see on the inside of you is what is real. The part of you that lives out of your imagination is what the great I am wants to give you. And I see so many times people settle for relationships that they know that's not what they saw in their spirit, or that's not what I wanted. When I communicated what I wanted from a spouse or from a significant other, we settle because we believe that maybe it just wasn't, maybe I missed the great I am and I got to settle for what, or maybe this business venture was not meant for me to be, or maybe this job or this promotion wasn't meant for me. And so I choose not to step out on faith and try to make my best attempt for it, because that's something I believe I want. And we settle for mediocrity. We settle for mediocrity to please our conscience. I don't want to feel like I'm overstretching my boundaries. I don't want to feel like I'm doing more than what I'm supposed to. Maybe that's not my lot in life. And then we use God to support our minimized lifestyle, because we want to believe that he's in agreement with lack. We want to believe that, maybe it's just meant for me to suffer a little while this season. Man, I gotta break bread. You gotta awaken your I am. You gotta listen, man. This life is gonna bring you twists and turns, ups and downs, no matter how you live it. That God does not have to want you to sit in suffering for you to have twists and turns in your life. This world is gonna bring you that. He don't have to orchestrate that. Because you're in this world, you're not of this world. It rains on the just as well as the unjust, that he doesn't have to manufacture you being suffering for a season. This world's going to give you that. But my challenge to you is that even in the midst of the storm, that you saying, man, I will learn how to sail in the midst of a storm. That this storm would not be the end of me. This storm would not take me down. This storm is not stronger than the great I am, awakening my I am. It's just a matter of time before I come up out of here with the, come on, man. Come on, man. Hey, Lord, thank you for joining us. It's just a matter of time before I come up out of here. Creation begins in the mind before it becomes physical. Somebody, come on, somebody go to the chat box. Creation begins in your mind before it becomes physical. Creation begins in your mind before it becomes physical. There's so many of us that we try to create externally before we create internally. And I'm telling you, life doesn't work that way. We create internally and it manifests externally. I'm about to break bread because some of us have been going after some things so hard. And that's why I don't subscribe to this theory that you got to give 120 in everything you do. You got to go hard. You got to do this. You got to do that. And you got to be so strong and so boisterous about going to do it. I'm telling you, if you don't have the proper picture on the inside, it is not sustainable outside. And that's why unless a man get this mind that be in Christ also in him, he cannot change, because creation starts here before you see it out there. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Creation begins in your mind. And that's why God wants to awaken your I am to your own creativity. You're looking externally for answers that you already have. Oh, I need Wells Fargo and Bank of America to give me $100,000 loan. You don't need Wells Fargo and Bank of America to give you $100,000 loan. You only need to seek your own creativity. I just broke bread. You don't have to pay 20% interest on your own creativity. What's up, Q? You don't have to do that. I'm telling you right now, creation begins in your mind before it becomes physical. The day I walked into that house, I start creating. It took me 12 years. It took me an extensive amount of time. But the whole time I was creating. And that's why you hear people say, I'm not left brain. I don't possess, I'm so right brain. I'm so blue green. If you look at Herman Briggs, and I'm so left brain, and I got to be processing all this stuff. You lying to yourself. Don't let the world tell you who you are. You're made in God's image and God likeness. You can be whatever you need to be in whatever moment you need to be it, because you're ambidextrous like that. Don't you let people put boundaries around, well, I don't think that way. No. If they need somebody to be creative, you're creative. They need a process oriented, you're process oriented. Why? Because you came from a creator. If you don't have that side, you know how to develop it. Why? Because I will live out my imagination until I do. Google and YouTube has given us resources that we've never had. Anything that we lack, we can figure it out. Stop allowing people to put limits on your life. Creation begins in your mind. Yeah. I want you to stop talking about you ain't left brain. I want you to sit down and I want you to start. I'm not an artist, but I would draw you a doggone blueprint of my life in a heartbeat. I know the lives that I want to impact. I mean, I know that if something does not improve the lives around me, I know that's not my mission. Well, motivational teacher, you have this big platform. You never talked about politics extensively. You never talked about what's going on. Stop the Asian hate. Motivational teacher, you never talked about Black Lives Matter. You've never talked about police brutality. That's not my platform. That is not my platform. There are others that spend 5,000 hours a year talking about that stuff. That is their platform. I'm not crossing over into somebody, well, you got to have a voice to the masses. Well, my voice is for the people that looking to improve their lot in life, who's looking to take on this world. I use my voice in the way that God has given me to use it. It's other people that got to spend 5,000 hours a year talking about all those other things that matter. And I would imagine somebody listening to those people talk about those things that matter. That's not my platform. I do what I'm the expert in. I motivate the masses. I motivate the masses to see beyond where you are today to where you can be tomorrow. I don't care what color you are. You need to see and I'm telling you, if we strip back all the titles and we look that people have more in common than we not. But the moment we start putting man-made titles on our lives and we start saying, oh, I'm Republican, Democrat, you're limiting your creativity. The moment you start saying whatever it is, you start putting labels on your own life, you're limiting your imagination. Never label yourself anything but the great I am is awakening my I am, and I have so much creativity in my life. It's amazing that nobody had never ran a 4-minute mile to Roger Bannister ran a 4. They thought it was humanly impossible to run a 4-minute mile to Roger Bannister ran a 4-minute mile. And then 3 months later, somebody else ran a 4-minute mile. Why? Because it took his imagination to run a 4-minute mile before other men could believe. What else are you waiting on other men to do when God is awakening your I am to be able to do that? You're waiting on somebody to come in and tell you it's humanly possible. You don't need another human to tell you it's humanly possible. You got the Spirit of God on the inside of you. You're waiting on somebody else to do it. You got the answer to it. If you recognize it's a problem, that tells you automatically you have the solution. Boy, I'm so far off. I'm going to have to do a part 2 because I'm still in my first section and and it's 35 minutes in. Your imagination isn't just a place to store things that you will always want but never achieve. It is the starting point of your success. Every goal you will ever reach starts off as something that you imagine. Your imagination is the starting point of your success. I always, I go to the gym and you hear people say, man, they have this picture of this body they want. Ooh, if I could just work out 5 years and get this body right here. And get this body right here. And they have this external vision of what they're supposed to be. But there's no inherent why I need to be there. The reason why I go to the gym, my dad died of a heart attack at 47. I know genetics are real. So I eat right. I sleep right. I drink a lot of water. I go work out. I do cardio. Why? Because all of those things, it ain't about how my body looks. It's about me being here to see my children's children. And so that's my why. And so there's no picture, a body picture you can show me that's going to give me more reason to go to the gym than seeing my children's children. That if there is no inherent why we make those decisions. Hey, what's up, Mom? If there is no why so strong on the inside of us, or if there's not an image on the inside of us that is stronger than the discipline that it takes to maintain a thing, then it's just a matter of time before it waned by the wayside. So many people make these New Year's resolutions. I'm not a fan of New Year's resolution. I don't understand why people think the changing of a clock to January 1 or the calendar to January 1 changes an inherent picture of who they are. Well, I'm going to start saving money January 1. If you have the image of what it looks like to save money on the inside of you, why does January 1 matter? I just broke bread for some of you all. Some of y'all been sitting back waiting on 5 or 6 things to happen. I'm like, if you have the image, let's act. If you have the image, let's act. What are we waiting on? What are we waiting on? If I have the image of what it looks like that I want, that image will become more and more clear as you begin becoming clearer. What are we waiting on if I have the image? The image is what is needed in your imagination in order to know where to start. I just broke bread. If I have the blueprint of the house, I don't have to have the physical house because the blueprint lays out the physical house. In order for me to have the physical house, I have to have the blueprint. But I can't have the physical house without having the blueprint. You already have the blueprint and you're waiting on somebody to magically give you the physical house. You have to begin to put your right foot in front of your left foot and begin to walk it out on this earth. It's not going to just, oh man, you can't pray this blueprint into action. You have to go get wood. You have to go and start getting the thing necessary to start building a house. Many of us have the image, but we have not begun to work. It's time to get off the sideline, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to make success part of your life. The combination of your imagination and the feeling of success. This is what makes success happen. What does my favorite book says? My favorite book says, now to him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly all that we can ask or think. There it go. There it go. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly more than he can ask and think. What is that talking about, motivational teacher? Your imagination. Your imagination. The great I am wants to do more than what you can even ask or think. That's your imagination. But my favorite part, according to the power that worketh in us, Ephesians 3:20, according to the power that works in us. What kind of power working in you? Is it doubt? Is it unbelief? Is it self-doubt? Is it pity? What kind of power is working on us? Because he's willing to do exceedingly abundantly above more than you can ask or think. It's time for us. I like to say it this way because I'm from the country. It's time for us to get off the porch and get in the game. Get off the porch and get in the game. If you have an image embossed in your brain, you have, bam, that's the gun at the race to say go. If you have a mental image of what you want to project on this shadows, I talk, oh my God, it's tying all back together. It's tying all back together. If you have the mental image of what you want to project, it's time to start building. It's not, oh, I gotta go get the wood. I gotta go get this. Forget all. You ain't gotta have it all laid out at one time. I remember when we were building a house. When we were building a house, like we were piecing it together. We were piecing it together. And once we need to build a wall, we'll just go get the wood for the wall. And then we were doing a little renovation. Then we needed sheetrock. We would just go have the money to go get the sheetrock. And we started right where we were. We started right. We didn't wait till we had all the supplies necessary laid out on the front lawn to start building the house. No, start with what you have. Start with it's time to get off the porch. I'm from the country, y'all. Get off the porch. You know, people sit there, look at them cars drive by, gossip about everything happening in the neighborhood. Ooh, I heard that person. It's time to get off the porch. Start with what you have. You've got enough personal growth. You got enough personal development. You've heard enough of the motivational teacher. Now it's just time for you to act. It's time for you to act. It's according to the power that works in us. It's time to activate. It's time to activate the power that works in us. Ladies and gentlemen, I have so much more to share, but I'm definitely going to do a part 2 of this. I'm definitely going to do a part 2 of this because I think there are so many people right now that are paralyzed by fear. They're paralyzed by unbelief. They're paralyzed by what could go wrong. And I'm telling you, you have all the tools necessary, but you do have to start. And I'm not telling you that this is going to be an easy road to travel. I'm not telling you that you won't have some sleepless nights. I'm not telling you that sometimes you're going to wonder how it's going to happen, but I'm telling you right now that you have to start right where you are. You have to start with what you have, Simone. Come on Periscope. You have to start right where you are. Stop waiting on somebody else to give you something else when the great I am said, I've already blessed you with every spiritual blessing. What are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? You need me to go get a pow out the starting blocks, you go. What do you need? A whistle to say, hey, you need me to toss the ball up in the middle and let you know the game is started? What do you need in order to get started with what you have? Part 2, 3, 4. I'm coming with it. This, man, all of this stuff that I've talked about for the last 78 episodes is all about awakening your I am. There is nothing else you need in this world for you to get to where you want to go other than an awakened I am. The other resources will be attracted to who you are. They will be attracted to who you are. I had no idea that some of the people that I've met along this journey that I was going to meet. And I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I thank God where I'm not where I was 5 years ago, and I'm moving to the next. But these solutions are being given to me as I travel this journey. I have no idea. I'm telling you right now. I said I am the motivational teacher to the masses. My sons and I, we make confessions every morning that are much bigger than we are. I have no idea of how all of this is going to unfold, but what I do know is the great I am has awakened my I am. And if we have that image on the inside, that the how is not up to us, the how is up to my partner, the great I am, but the why I have to own. My why has to be stronger than any adversary that I meet along this journey. And the how is up to my daddy in heaven who has all the resources. I'm not concerned about how it's going to happen. I'm more concerned about why I believe it's going to happen. If I own the why, nothing can stop us. Nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop them. Nothing can stop us if I own the why. If I own, you got symptoms of this. And symptoms are just what they are. They're symptoms. Never mistake a symptom for the real thing. Somebody, well, I got symptoms of cancer. Or I got symptoms of diabetes. They're just symptoms. It only becomes cancer and it only becomes diabetes when you accept it. So when you get the image of I got diabetes, then now you got diabetes. I'm not saying don't take the medicine. I'm not saying don't take the chemo. But what I am saying, as you are taking in those, I believe God and science work together. But as you're working on that, work on you. And you start making you start building the image in your imagination of who you are and why you need to live upon this earth. And you start building this image of why I need to have this business, or how the great I am is going to use me. Who can be blessed by me having this? And we have to start building those images that way, afraid to step out and do. I know. And I'm gonna break bread tonight, Deborah. Man, listen. All of us have some fear of the unknown. And I don't believe faith is the opposite of fear. I believe that courage is the opposite of fear, because even though we all have some form of, I don't know how it's going to happen, there's a little anxiety, but we can't allow that emotion to drive our behaviors. We can't allow those emotions to drive our behaviors. Fear, being afraid is our body sometimes mistakes like danger and fear, and sometimes we can react the same way from emotionally to danger. Danger's like I got a lion or a tiger or somebody got a gun to my head. That's danger. But sometimes fear, which is just of the unknown, can make my body behave as if I'm in danger. And a lot of times that's what fear does to us. It cripples us. But I'm telling you, it's okay to be afraid, but we cannot allow that feeling or that emotion to dominate my decision making. That's why when God was telling Joshua, be strong and not afraid. Be strong and not afraid. Be strong and of good courage, because courage is the opposite of fear, not faith. Courage is I have the courage to step out. Yeah, I'm shaking, I'm nervous, I'm scared. I remember my first big speaking engagement, and my wife and I, we do speaking together, and I was in the back, and man, I was so nervous. I told my wife, I said, man, I was so nervous and I was so scared. I was so scared. Oh, I was at Lisa. I was so scared. Deborah, at that point that I told my wife, I said, man, I don't know why I said yes to this. I mean, almost like I was torturing myself, Deborah, by sitting back there and in my mind, I'm playing music and all this stuff. In my mind, I'm like, oh my God, and I'm noticeably shaking. And I told her, I don't know why I do. I don't know why. She said, don't say that. She said, don't say that. Because that emotion had started to overcome me. And as I got out there on that stage and I started doing what God has given me to do, like that emotion, I don't know when it left. I don't know when the nervousness left. But I do know my feet were ice cold when I said, God, please don't let me fall. My feet were ice cold when it was a whole auditorium full of people. And I was like, please don't let me fall when I take the first step. My foot just sleep. I said, if I can make it past that first step, I'll be okay. But somewhere in that 90 minutes, I don't know where the fear subsided and the courage took over. But by the end of it, it was a standing ovation, and they just don't know how nervous I was when I walked out there. And I said that story to say this, that being afraid is a part of the process of becoming great. And that's why it said, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. Like Angelique, we got to walk through the shadow. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, it's only a shadow. It only becomes real when I take that image. And I'm challenging you all not to take the bait. I talked about not taking the bait about 2 years ago. Don't take the bait. that there's something so magnificent on the inside of you. That's the only reason why you have the opposition to start. I say, hey, act in courage. Courage is doing it in the presence of fear. Man, false evidence appear. 92% of the things that we worry about never take place. I'm asking you, I'm challenging you to choose to walk in courage. Y'all have been phenomenal tonight. We had Periscope on here tonight. We had YouTube on here tonight. We had YouTube in full effect. We had Facebook in here tonight. We had people start. Lisa said start, start, start. We had people chiming into this conversation all night. Simone on Periscope chiming into this conversation. You all have been phenomenal. And there will definitely be a part 2 because I only got through that much of my notes. And it's amazing, man, that as you begin to trust the great I am, as you begin to trust God with your future and with your life, you will find out that your I am will be awakened to solutions and to areas that you did not even know existed. I'm telling you right now. But the thing that we have to do is start. We have to start. We have to start. Like, we don't become solution oriented until we start. The power of your imaginations, ladies and gentlemen. You all have been phenomenal. Thank you, Angelique. Thank you, Vaniqua. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Q. You all have chimed in this conversation. I see my mom out there. You all have been phenomenal. Thank y'all for joining us for another Motivational Monday. If you all would, please go ahead and tell friends y'all need to join this guy. You need to hop on here. I'm telling you, at some point, he's going to be a household name, and you need to be here. I'm going to need the testimonies of all you all. I need to prove the gift. I'm going to need your testimony. Like, the world is dependent on you to walk this thing out, not just to keep fumbling through life. You got to walk this stuff out. Like, that's what I'm saying. Things just don't happen. It just seems, no, it just doesn't happen. You have to learn how to train your mind. You have to learn how to train your mind. You got to learn how to train your imagination. I only speak what I see internally. What I see externally is subject to change. All of these physical things are subject to change. When I was 18, I had a head full of hair. I had a head full of wavy, thick black hair. At 42, it's all gone. These physical features are subject to change. Right now, I got all these beautiful teeth. They all belong to me. All this stuff is subject to change. I'm telling you, you got to understand what's on the inside of you is more real than what is external. The moment you grab your imagination and you say, I'm going to live my life through my imagination, is the moment you learn what being free indeed truly is. This is your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses. Hey, I'm asking you all again. Listen to it. #2, #3, #4. Put a new thought every time you listen to it. Hashtag a new thought, because you begin to create new connections with your own imagination. Listen to it 3 or 4 times. I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, eventually you will find yourself sitting in the field of your dreams. This is your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses. And until next time, I am challenging you to wage war.
It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war.